Yeah.
Even if you don't read it, you buy it, you are committing a nice act of charity for the military men returning who have fought to preserve freedom for
Exactly.
our sake.
In fact, this is a
Those of
great.
us who sit around and talk on the phone.
This is a great way to support wounded warriors, and at the same time to find out why they do what they do. Because Lee, in writing this book, chronicles her father's entrance into the Marines and his subsequent endeavors while he is in the Pacific Theater. And as you read it, you really get inside the head of what a Marine is about. I was amazed with that. And if you are a patriot, if you are someone that supports what the United States has been about, this book tells you a lot about that.
Exactly.
And it is a masterful book. In fact, I think the book ought to be a movie.
I agree. Absolutely. Yeah,
I agree.
I want to jump right into this. You know, I was going to
Can I throw something in here right here? I have a very near and dear friend who I have yet to have met in person, but another amazing advocate for veterans, and her name is Dawn Marie, and I have her on the phone now. She was unable to get through, and what I would like is, Dawn, can you speak right now?
I can.
Can you hear this?
Yeah, barely, but yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Dawnia.
Dawnia, speak up really loud because I have you with me here.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep. Go ahead.
Yes, they can hear you. Or you know what? Tell me, and I'll just repeat what you say. Dawn was going to ask if I plan on doing any tours with local veterans. Well, I guess I'm going to blow my secret cover, but I actually already do that. I do go to local VFWs. I'm involved with something called AMP Surf, which is amputee surfing, an organization headed up by a Marine who lost a leg, whose first name is Dana, out of California. And I have arranged beaches and things to be donated where surfers donate their time, travel across the country, and spend a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time, teaching veterans to surf as a way of healing using the water and surfing using modified surfboards. But I would love to be included on any local stuff you may have, Dawnia. This amazing, she just said absolutely. She and I became friends, probably just because we were siding with each other in the cruel Facebook world, both being New Jersey residents.
Yeah.
That's right. There you go.
You know, if you want to dial in, you can call.
He says you can. Okay, Mark is telling you now. Can you hear this? He says you can call.
Yeah, you can call by dialing area code 20.
He said he tried to call. Okay, you need to call. Call. What's the number, Mark? I'm gonna tell her again.
Yeah, the phone number is area code 209.
209, Dawnia.
647.
647.
1600.
1600.
And at the prompt, then you punch in 35.
Hang on, it'll ask you for an access code. Now, and as soon as you hear access code, then you dial 359 310 pound.
359 310 pound is the prompt. Okay, dial in. Bye.
Good.
Yeah,
hey.
she's like.
And that's for everybody listening. I'm having some real problems with the phone lines at the moment. Now, there is for all the listeners that want to call in, the new number for the moment is 209 647 1600. What will happen? You will hear a voice that says, "Please type in your access code." It's not exactly that, but I can't remember what it is. The access code for this conference is 359 310 pound.
Right.
But that is for American and Canadian listeners only.
Right, exactly.
My friends in Australia and Germany listening.
Lee, your microphone's gotten a little bit muddled. Can you straighten it out the way it was before when we had great sound?
Do I have great sound now?
Now you
Yep.
do. That a girl.
Well,
Way to-
if there are listeners in any other parts of the world, then you need to dial the American international code and then 209-647-1600.
Or you can join us on Skype. If you have Skype on your computer, you can join us on Skype just by dialing the free conference call HD dot 1600, and then at the prompt it's the same number, 359-310-pound. And we'd love for you to call in.
Yeah, absolutely. Now,
Well, I'd also like to thank Steve for his gracious and most sincere. I really like all the nice things you said about my book. But
Now,
probably Steve, the detail and the description, which results, has resulted in the book, was what I really believe is my hearing the stories over and over and over again for 40 years. I believe at a certain point that my father's voice I became a channel for my father's voice.
There was no way that I would have thought that anyone other than your father had written the book.
exactly. That's exactly.
Now, can I just? Oh, never mind. It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. Of course it does, Daniel. Everything matters. You're
No,
so
hang on.
wonderfully human.
But the book was so well written and like I said, incredibly spellbinding. I could not put it down.
I'm a good writer.
Yes, you are.
And I'm a good note taker.
You're certainly a very good writer.
And when people talk, I listen. And that probably makes me a very good friend. But I learned to listen. And if anything else, I credit my father for teaching me to be a great listener. And I don't think you can be a good friend. And I attribute my vast array of dear friends that I have in my life to the fact that I've been able to listen and find something special in everyone that I am friends with.
Mm-hmm.
And without my father making me listen, wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. Now, the thing that really struck me about your book was, there's a sense of your dad that I got. I'll tell you, I didn't know what to expect when I started reading it. And as the story began, it drops in the jungle in New Guinea. In
Bougainville.
In Bougainville.
That's right.
You start off with almost like a Saving Private Ryan kind of scenario where like all hell's breaking loose. And but what happens is the story goes back in time to when he actually was inducted in the Marines. And the thing that really struck me was he really sounds like every guy I know. He sounds like your average Joe. He doesn't sound like a guy that went into the Marines, a hardcore jarhead, blood and guts ready to go. He was a sensitive guy. The thing that struck
he was. My father was raised by a mother and had two older sisters yelling at him. My grandfather died of a brain tumor when he was 6. He was essentially raised with a lot of women, which made him probably a hopeless romantic and a wonderful gentleman and very sensitive and a great daddy.
Yeah. That's exactly.
Sensitive guy. He was a sensitive guy.
He really. This guy was a gentleman's gentleman. He was, and I'm not saying that to butter your bread here. I'm telling you, I read that.
Oh, I know. But there's very few people in the entire universe that can hold a candle to my father.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the thing that stuck out in my mind was one word, and that is character. He sounds like a man of tremendous character. And
everyone who knows him to this day loves him for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mark, we have a new caller that's called in from the 601 area code. If you'd like to discuss or entertain their question.
Yeah, go ahead, caller.
Good evening. I'm known as the voice of reason.
Hello, John. It's always
How you
delightful.
doing,
I've been very busy, but I certainly have missed our banter.
I don't know if you call it banter or redneck lingo.
Well, I appreciate you wholeheartedly, and I think you're an awesome force, and your beautiful wife as well.
Well, I appreciate it, Lee, and like Steve, my favorite part of the book was about the daggum monkey or whatever you want to call that thing. I think your dad
Womcat.
found out later.
Womcat.
It was called it was called something else later on, but that was the funniest part of the whole story, how they caught the stupid varmint to begin with.
Yeah, right. Well,
That was football training. That was my dad's football tackle.
Well, they actually later on they found out that there was, and this is years later, they found out that there was actually called an Australian possum.
Indeed, that was a real party right at a party at my friend's house, who I saw last Thursday. Who was, yep, that was real. All
Yeah,
real.
so your dad's sitting there, and there's this conversation going on, and they're talking about this critter, and your dad perks his ears up, and he's like, "Wait a minute, I know what you guys are talking about."
Well, he jumped up, and he was on a cane. He jumped up. He didn't have the cane. That's how excited he was.
Wow.
He was jumping around. I said, "You're faking it. Give me that goddamn cane. I'm gonna hit you with it." You've been walking with a cane. You don't need it.
Yeah, so he was like, for the first time in like 50 years, heard somebody that clued right into a key part of his story, and they didn't even know what he was talking about.
Yes, it was quite the day.
The basic training that every soldier goes through, and I've been through it, and most everybody's been in the military has to go through it. It is a brotherhood. Once you go, that is the glue that binds us all together, because everybody has a story. And when you're telling a story about Paris Island and what they went through and the stunts that were pulled, everybody that has ever been there can remember the stories of the drill sergeants making them do stupid things.
Mm. Yeah.
So, Don, what stupid thing did you do?
Yeah.
Chair.
Well, you know what a toothbrush looks like, don't you?
Yeah.
We were at Fort Knox, Kentucky when I did basic, and we had skunks under the World War II barracks. In the springtime, as you well know, is like any other critter, they go through the heat process. And, of course, when skunks go through the heat, the scent sacs go off. So you're in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're smelling this odd smell, and it's the skunks mating up under the barracks.
Oh, good Lord.
And only folks that have been to Fort Knox, Kentucky could tell that story.
Wow. Well, we also have joining us Karen. Karen's on the line. How you doing, Karen?
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to Loving Karen.
Hi. How are you? Hey, Lee. This is Karen from Brownstone.
Oh, my goodness.
Just calling to say hello, show my support.
What a delight. This young lady, Karen, knew my father.
Yep.
And saw me driving around and going to lunch with him.
That's right.
Him, my dad, my daughter, my dog, all of us doing
every
our
week.
Bank, John.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah.
You're the only person who's ever actually called in and knew my dad.
That's right. Every week I saw your dad and your daughter and said hello and, you know, talk to Lee every week. She's a lovely person.
So you're also from Jersey then, Karen?
Yep, from Jersey.
We got all
another Jersey girl.
Oh, they'll get Jersey.
You can tell that by a dialing code. It's dead easy.
Hey, I love that accent, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. What, mine or Mark's?
or do I have the accent?
we have a lot of accents here, so you know.
I don't have an accent. Don't make.
That's
me
right.
Don't make me.
Oh,
say
you know
that's
so ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. My girlfriend is from Texas, and I took her to my local pub last year.
Your local pub. Okay,
my pub last year. And somebody went up to her and she says, "Oh, I love your accent." She says, "I don't have an accent." Excuse me, you're American. Of course you do.
Of course we don't.
Exactly.
We have so many accents on this show that you're bound to like one of them.
Yeah.
Now there is a loving, caring, sharing remark.
That's right.
It just really, really annoys Mark that most of the people that come on this show like my accent and not his.
I know. He refuses to do his own show, so I have to take a spot. So that's how it works out.
Well, they either like.
Is a lovely person who has raised two amazing young men, two sons.
Thank you, Lee.
Has a great husband and is an upstanding member of the community at Red Bank.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Oh, she's like the coolest person. She's like the super mom.
Wow.
And I walk in and I'm like, what do I do with this crazy child I have? And I'm pulling my hair out. And she goes, she always has something nice to say to me. And then I look in the car and I look at my daughter like with her fingernails ripping the top of my headliner off, and she says, "It's okay. She'll